Okay. See if I have. Okay, very good. Okay. Okay, the exponent of the 19th Gaussian Mersenne prime, and this number is let's see. Yeah. 353 is the exponent of the 19th Gaussian Mersenne prime. So the first thing that we notice from this 353, if you look at all of those 7 Hamim initial chapters in the Quran, 40 through 46, okay? And you notice that only Hamim in chapter 42 is a prime number, okay? And it has to be, okay, because of this, because this 353 happens to be the 19th Gaussian Mersenne prime, okay? So 353 is the sum of frequency of all Hamims in chapter 42. Okay? Remember, there are 2 sets of initials in chapter 42. So God has given us that ability to understand these things. Semi-primes that are not square numbers are called discrete, distinct, or square-free semi-primes. This is exactly verbatim from Wikipedia. You can find it yourself. Okay. 353rd such semi-prime happens to be 1238. The digits of this 1238 are the indices of primes 2, 3, 5, and 19. Look at those digits, 1, 2, 3, 8. The first prime is 2, the second prime is 3, the third prime is 5, and the eighth prime is 19. If you multiply these prime numbers, you're going to get 570. 570 is equal to 2 times 3 times 5 times 19. 9127 happens to be the 570th Gaussian prime. Okay. And 570 is the sum of frequency of Aleph Lam Mim in chapter 32, which is called frustration. Okay. So you see what I was saying to you in the first unit of this praise, okay, that we now have to be extremely careful how we choose our careers, what we are doing, okay, in our lives. And accordingly, we are going to see the consequence of those choices that we make. Okay? Making shields is the way to go. Making weapons and weapons of mass destruction is the wrong way to go. We cannot be part of that. Okay? Making drugs that heals people, that's the way to go. Making drugs that kill people, that's not the way to go. It doesn't matter how rich you're going to get in the process. It doesn't make any difference. It's irrelevant. All of those are made up matter. Okay. This is how God has designed this Quran to give us more of signs that we should really pay attention to what God is telling us. So today we should really fall prostrate to God, okay, according to chapter 32. And by the way, you see the numbers here 2, 3, and 5, okay, which is the multiplicand of 19. 2 times 3 times 5 is actually 30, and 30 is the 19th composite. Okay, and so from that, you can actually go back to 1967 and 30. Okay? Those three numbers, the 19th prime number is 67 and 19th composite is 30. Okay? So from that, you're actually getting this. And then that 30 also that I just derived here on 2 times 3 times 5 is actually the number of verses in chapter 32. Okay. So again, if I want to go through this, I have to go through this and tell you about this for the rest of the day, basically. There's no end to this. Okay? What is 3230 and why is it 3230? It's not 3232 or something like that. Okay? There's a reason for these things. There's a fundamental reason that has to do with the construction of the universe. That God has built it not based on mathematical equation, but He built them based on the truth. And these prime numbers and the indices is actually providing a basis upon which this whole thing has been created. Okay, we had a phone call. I'm sorry. Apologize for that. But anyway, so that's what God is showing us. That's what God has increased our knowledge today about the understanding of the Quran. We do that, and accordingly, what we do is we can lead a more righteous life. This is again different. Our place in the cosmos is different. Today is a bigger universe, and God has increased our knowledge accordingly. This is how God has done for us. And so we should be, inshallah, during this month especially, okay, we should be on best behavior. And make sure that we do not make the mistakes we made before during this month. Okay? And again, as I said, I'm going to reiterate this, that if you have a chronic illness or something, God knows that. Okay? So you do not fast. By doing that, you're also obeying God, and you're also worshiping God alone. Okay? So don't worry about it. If you can't fast, fine. God will reward you for that, and He will increase the provision for you and everything, and you'll be fine. Okay? As I said, is that we have to make sure that we obey God's commandments and God's instructions and all those do's and don'ts, that we become a better person in this life. Okay? I'm going to stop here and we'll finish